Why Akainu is the strongest, I disagree. I'm an Admiral hater. I cannot stand the Admirals. I think they are like Zoro Sanji level max, like a high Yonko Commander 1, maybe even mid-tier Yonko Commander 1 type of level. So let's get into it.
It never has a clear answer most of the time.
Nope.
From series like Dragon Ball, the topic of the strongest is something that is always controversial. It never has a clear answer most of the time. From series like Dragon Ball, Jujutsu Kaisen, and so on and so forth, the debate is seemingly never ending.
He got
One Piece
BS'd.
is no different from that, and because of the insane amount of top tiers there are in the verse, we might never get a clear answer
That's a
until
good
the end
point.
of the series.
There's so many
However,
like crazy
just
people
like most
that
verses,
it's hard to tell.
there are characters that have arguments and reasons for them being the top one. In this case, Akainu is the man in my eyes that has shown the best feats and has some of, if not, the best narrative in
Best feats? You mean getting his shit punched on by Whitebeard? Crippled Whitebeard with a hole through his chest, right? Okay.
the series. What's up guys, my name is Verdix, and if you enjoy videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I put out quality content like this weekly, you won't want to miss. So I think it's important to note that 1, this is only talking about current characters that are alive right now, and 2, that a good amount of people refuse to give this guy any credit because they still hate him over Ace's death. Which, if you are one of those people, go ahead and click off right now because this
I mean, I don't really
is
like.
information gathering to determine the strongest.
Like, I don't really care that he killed Ace. I think that was narratively bound to happen. For Luffy's kind of character arc. I just feel like he's just not like I'm excited to see this evidence
Not
that he
who you like
brings
more.
forward.
Also, get the fuck over it. Shit was well over a decade ago, and you don't need to force yourself to be more
it was
upset
bound to
about it
happen
than
too,
have
you
to
know?
be. Now that we have gotten that out of the way, let's start off with some of his narrative. The first time we see Akainu is in the Ohara flashback, where we see him blow up the ship of escaping Oharians. From this instance, we can see that Akainu has a very ruthless nature to him. He ties up all loose ends and is absolute in his beliefs, which goes into one of the biggest themes in his character, absolute justice. It's what helps propel his character into another level, being someone that, no matter what, believes their way of justice is the only acceptable kind. We see characters like Kaido and Kizaru are conflicted within their actions. Akainu doesn't have that mindset holding him back. If he sees something that's needed to be done, he will do it, no questions asked. The same way he killed the Marine for running away from the war. Characters like these are always some of the very strongest in whatever verse they are a part of. It's a troop a lot of the strongest.
So what is that? Like appeal to authority? There's like 4 logical fallacies in that statement. Just because in every verse characters like this are the strongest, like you can't say that. That's not how it works.
After, Sukuna doesn't stand for anyone's bullshit, and if you aren't to obey his will immediately, he will kill you. Frieza is a
And guess what? Sukuna is even the strongest in the verse. In JJK, like
base tyrant that doesn't take any risk.
I hate power scaling so much, but like this shit will make me angry. Power scaling is bottom 1 things that's ever come out of manga and anime. Like, it's insane.
And strikes when needed. I could go on and on, but you guys get my point. Akainu clearly follows this troop. It makes a lot more sense for Akainu to be amongst the top of the top than it doesn't. After all, Oda confirmed that Akainu has a 5 billion berry bounty placed onto him. This is something that only 2 other characters have ever
Again,
achieved so
who
far.
cares? What is it, the fucking Buggy Corporation? I don't remember what it's called. Who cares? There's like captains rated 1 billion, rated 1 star. Like, is that not insane? A captain? Just like fucking Navy Captain Morgan. Chapter 1. Like, are you serious?
Is Roger and Whitebeard. Even these guys were considered the strongest of their time, and Whitebeard we'll get into a bit later, yet Oda puts Akainu on the same tier as them. Speaking of Oda, if an author has a clear favorite...
Bounty is not measure of power. Okay, let's set the stage, right? Let's set that. Bounty is not a scale of power. Why is Luffy same bounty as Law and Kid? Kid, you think Luffy is Kid's level? Like, that's insanity. Zoro and Sanji, different bounties, narratively and confirmed by Oda, same strength. Like,
And
or Zoro and
bias
Sanji,
towards
is
the
that what I said?
character,
Maybe I said Zoro
I
and
think
Luffy.
you
Zoro and
should
Sanji.
definitely put down all your stocks into them, especially Akainu. Remind you,
Fuck
the way
Akainu,
Oda
bro.
talks about this guy is pure glaze, as he, yes, cherishes him, which is something that he hasn't said about anyone else. He also claims for him to have the strongest devil fruit power in the entire verse.
When did he say this shit? Like 2010? Like, that is not true.
There's even
Okay.
a crazy statement where Oda
The thing is, like, I know people say that, like, Oda isn't reliable as, like, a joke. It's literally true because the series is so long. Look, this is from 2012. You think Oda hasn't changed his story since 2012? Like, that was almost 14 years ago. I suck. No, that's right.
says if he were to have made Akainu the protagonist at his current strength level, he would have outright claimed the One Piece, and it would only take Oda a year to write the story. This isn't.
You know how many times you said he would be done in a year? He should be done in a year during Wano in 2019. That was 7 years ago.
Absolutely insane statement about a character that way too many people look over. This implies he's able to take opponents off of Zunisha, defeat Kaido, Big Mom, and whoever has the last one, then successfully.
He gets slapped by Kaido. Like, are you genuinely insane? He gets slapped. He gets one hit in. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
This outright put Akainu above Big Mom and Kaido. We even see how Akainu is made the strongest in the Marines when he is given the title of Fleet Admiral, and the narrator.
That pisses me off too. Like, oh my god, he should not be Fleet Admiral. But I mean, I can't refute that. Like, he did beat Aokiji. We don't know what the conditions of that fight were, but I would like to assume that it was equal.
Below Akainu as well. The way Oda talks about this man and literally cherishes him towards the final saga is in a way he has never talked about anyone before. I mean, this guy even says he's the most handsome in the verse. Like, it's clear Oda himself.
Maybe he kind of looks like Oda, if you think about it. I mean, like, self-glaze a little bit.
Crazy stock into this guy. Now let's talk about his feats and what this guy
Let's
is
analyze.
actually
Hold on.
capable of. The first into handsome in the verse, like it's clear.
Good jaw width. Symmetrical. Neutral, almost negative, can't thou tilt. Just kidding, that's some brain rot.
Oda
BP, bro,
has
BP.
crazy
Do not
stock
let me in
into
that
this
community.
guy. Now let's talk about his feats and what this guy is actually capable
Yeah,
of.
literally nothing. He hasn't done shit in the
The
entire
first time we
series.
see him in action is of course in Marineford, which we see him debut by clashing with and overpowering Whitebeard on multiple occasions. Mind you, this is the guy's real
Look!
introduction.
He has a hole in his chest. And he has hockey cancer. And we're using this as a feat? He can't even use hockey. And he has a hole in his chest and he's like 100 years old, and this is your feat. This is your first feat that you're using.
You're seeing him stop
Like, that's
Whitebeard's
insane.
quick and fused, supreme grade blade with just his foot while having his hands in his pockets. This is straight aura farming on another level. Now, if we examine the
Right,
fight,
aura
we will
farming
clearly
against
see
a
Akainu has the
100-year-old
edge.
man
And I don't mean
with
watching
cancer
anime.
and
I mean
a hole in his chest.
actual source material in the manga. We see Akainu was able to burn half of Whitebeard's face off and put holes in his body that incinerated his organs. Meanwhile, the
While
only
he's
attacks
distracted.
Whitebeard
While he's distracted, by the way. While he's fighting 100,000 Marines.
landed
With no
on
hockey.
Akainu were after Ace's death and was an off-guard attack that the anime made Akainu aware of for some fucking reason. And the biggest
You're talking about this off-guard attack? Let's talk about the other off-guard attack, huh?
attack where he made the hole in the ground. All these attacks did was make Akainu bleed. He didn't pass out.
He sent him into the abyss. Like, he sent him into the abyss. No hockey. A hole in his chest. A hole in his face. And 100,000 Marines. Giants. Vice admirals. Admirals. Fleet admiral. He wasn't actively fighting, but still they were there. And he sent them into the abyss. The only reason he survived is because of his devil fruit. The only reason.
Close, which is a very bad misconception in the community. As we see, he caught himself, burrowed a hole behind the Whitebeard pirates, and continued to fight them, and wanted to fight the red-haired pirates, if not for Sengoku stopping him.
He would have been slapped. You wouldn't get a single hit. He couldn't beat Yasop. Okay, well, maybe he could. He couldn't beat Lucky Roo. No chance. No chance. He gets fucking slapped. And then Shanks and Ben Beckman, he wouldn't get a single hit.
I don't know why some of you guys believe Whitebeard to have done a shit amount of damage onto Akainu here, when he just did not. Otherwise, he would have fallen into the sea and died because he's a fucking devil fruit user. Another very, very stupid misconception is that Whitebeard didn't have haki.
This fucking idiot.
And those people, I really want to know how much of One Piece you actually watch and then just skip over, because one of the most basic things to know in One Piece is that you need haki to touch Logia users.
He didn't have hockey. He had hockey cancer. It's literally in it. He uses hockey, attempts to, and then he like bends over and starts coughing up blood. He doesn't have hockey. Like, I'm confused on what's going through your brain.
It's pretty disappointing that I still have to see those comments, I'm not gonna lie. So, we see that Akainu is successfully taking on Whitebeard's commanders and has more than enough strength to fight the red-haired pirates off. Meanwhile, because Akainu weakened Whitebeard so much, the Blackbeard pirates were able to kill them with their weapons.
Holy shit.
The only other noticeable attack Whitebeard took was a laser from Kizaru, which, by the way, if y'all want to keep...
And Squard. Let's not forget, he got stabbed directly through his sternum with a fucking 8-foot-long blade.
Kizaru hype video, let me know down below. Anyway, the only reason Whitebeard was able to be defeated was because Akainu weakened him so much, and their battle is very quick and in flashing moments.
So, what this guy's saying, Jaegerist, I think it is. I've seen a lot of those videos and I like them. I like about EOS characters. But like, I'm just confused how this is a feat. 100-year-old, no hockey, cancer beard, who got stabbed directly through his chest, fighting 100,000 people. I'm confused how these two, like, how this is a feat.
But if you look at their interactions, Akainu clearly has the edge, as taking off half of someone's face and burning their organs is more impressive than knocking them down for a quick second and making them bleed.
He sent him into the abyss. I think we're avoiding that fact.
The crazy fact that tops this all off, though, is that Akainu wasn't even going all out. We see this in Punk Hazard, as if he were to have gone
This
all out.
is an actual feat. Like,
His
I will
Mind you,
hear
the
this feat
Marineford
out.
isn't just a Navy base, as it inhabits a town with people in it. Akainu would be killing practically everyone if he went all out like we saw in his fight against Kuzan. Speaking of, we know that he was able to defeat him in a fight that lasted 10 days long and changed the entire climate of Punk Hazard. Mind you, that both changing...
How is the fact that the fight lasted so long a feat? I feel like that's more evidence that he's a fraud than a feat, because why didn't he just kill him? And we've seen Kuzan. He got punched on by Garp, right? Like, by old Garp. So if they're that even, that equal, why? I'm just confused on why that's really impressive for his strength. He's less than Garp level by this logic.
Climate as dramatically as they did in fighting 10 days is something that has never been seen before. We also can't forget that despite the fact Blackbeard had his entire crew with him, the sight of solely
You mean
Akainu
Fraudbeard?
was
You mean
enough
off
to
D
make
screen?
him and his crew run away in fear. This dude
Yep.
got Yonko Cruz.
Again, Blackbeard doesn't take fights he doesn't have to. He plans everything out, right? And this was on screen, so he couldn't have fought him. Like, it's just how it is, you know?
Running away. he also, unknowingly to some, displayed both Future Sight and Rio in Marineford. We see this when he, Kuzan, and Kizaru use Rio to stop Whitebeard shockwaves from destroying Marineford, and we see him use Future Sight when Marco and Vista attack him, and he uses his body to morph and avoid their attacks.
So, Advanced Armament Hockey is now a really impressive feat, like, as if every top tier in the verse doesn't already have that, like,
Even after he does this,
can you see why I'm
says,
confused about
"Hockey
these
meaning
feats?
They used Haki, and Akainu clearly morphed his body to avoid the attacks the same way Katakuri does. It's a story where there is countless foreshadowing.
So him being Katakuri level is a feat, right? Katakuri, who got beat by Whole Cake Island Luffy, right? That's a feat. And I like Katakuri. He's a great character, and he is strong, you know. But like, I'm confused on how that's that impressive.
But you guys don't want to accept that the Admirals showcase advanced hockey types before it was formally introduced in the show. We see this in fucking Gear 5 and so many others, so I don't see why it's so hard to accept that advanced hockey was displayed before we knew what it was.
I'm not refuting that. I agree. That's impressive. But in the scheme of top tiers, it's not.
I bet
or
if
in
that
the field of
Shanks
top
did
tiers.
it, some of you guys would not have a problem now, would we? Getting back on track though, if we quickly go over how this man is portrayed and the feats displayed, we see he has the strongest offensive power, the best stamina and endurance along.
No, he doesn't. He couldn't even kill Cancerbeard. I will admit, stamina endurance is impressive. 10-day fight against Aokiji. But the fact that it took 10 days for him to kill him, it does more damage to him than the fact that it was 10 days, like in endurance stamina wise.
Incredible durability, being able to take enraged Whitebeard attacks
without hockeyless Cancerbeard attacks,
and still have more than enough strength to keep fighting, overpower him while holding back, defeat Kuzan, and is stated in...
I don't agree with the holding back thing, because at the beginning you were speaking about, this guy was speaking about absolute justice. He will do whatever it takes. He doesn't consider the implications of it. He doesn't he doesn't care. He'll do absolute justice. He'll follow absolute justice. If that is true, like you said, why was he holding back? Right? You're contradicting your own points.
Shown not just to be over Garp, Kaido, and Big Mom, but up there with Roger and Whitebeard.
Let's look at 2012 portrayal. Kaido 2012 images. Here, hold on. Kaido silhouette. This was the Kaido that he's stronger than. You think the story hasn't changed since this was Kaido? Since this was Big Mom? You think the story hasn't changed since then? Like, this shit. Yeah, you can't even be serious. There's no way. This is how much he's changed from then. And you think that Akainu's strength and story and narrative couldn't have changed as well.
And easily be able to find the One Piece. This is how you talk about end of series Luffy. Yeah, Akainu right now.
Now we talk about end of series Luffy like that. Now, in current, not in 2012.
Is getting this treatment.
Not 16 years
all
ago.
With limited knowledge on what he is actually capable of, and when the time comes, we find out, I will guarantee you that this man will be talked about in an even higher regard. No matter what you do,
I guarantee
or
he
frankly
won't.
who you are, fighting this guy is going to result in him either taking your limbs or your life. You're just not ready for him. Well, that's it for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave a like. It really helps with the algorithm and is very appreciated. As always, shout out to Tiberius for the thumbnail. He makes quality thumbnails for me all the time. And if you would like some of your...
Nice. Listen. Yeah, that's some crazy glaze shit. Since 2013, huh? Here's the thing, right? He fought Aokiji for 10 days. The same Aokiji who 2 years later, in fact, during those 2 years he was doing stuff. Doing, like, things that required him to fight. It follows that he was getting stronger during those 2 years, right? So for 2 years, Aokiji, who took Akainu to 10 days, barely lost, barely, let's emphasize that fact, barely lost, now is stronger, got punched on by Garp. So you're telling me that Akainu, who has now done nothing for 2 years, sat at his desk, using his desk hockey, enhancing his desk hockey, training it, is now same level as Kuzan, or weaker even, because Kuzan's actually been doing something, so he's weaker than Garp. Old Garp. Galaxy Impact Garp. I just... I just can't understand it. And I don't like the Admirals. I like Kizaru. And I like... Okay, I actually do like the Admirals. I just don't like Akainu. And that might make me biased, but I just don't understand how this is logical. But I don't know. Good video. Thanks to Verdix. Oh, it's Verdix, not Jaegers. Anyway, he makes good videos, so... thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I hope you agree with me, but if you don't, it's okay. We're all entitled to our own opinions. Bye.